As we already empirically know, all species of living beings attempt to survive by reproducing repeatedly. This universal behavior evidences that there's an imperative in their genetic programming which commands it so. In view of the above, the first idea is that all living beings, including humans, have the implicit mandate, or vital imperative, to attempt the survival of their species. Humankind having other transcendental goals notwithstanding. The second idea assesses that social species, alongside competitivity and struggle, need some kind of altruism in order to live and reproduce iteratively. Broad altruism includes all that entails a benefit to others: productivity, cooperation, solidarity, mutual support. And under any motivation, instinctive, reciprocal, free, onerous. Altruism is always self-serving and remunerated, materially, as group appreciation, and as self-esteem. And it's the most efficient and effective way for the survival of the individuals, their groups, and their species. These laws are implicit and operational in all living beings, and are the basis for their behavior. They've presently secured the existence of more than 2 million known species. The existence of these current living beings confirms there is an imperative which commanded their forefathers, and now themselves, to live and reproduce for the transmission of life. In the case of humankind, animated and rational living beings, these laws can be made explicit through a universal ethical principle that states, "It's good or better, that which is good or better, for the survival of our species." Given the importance of these laws, it seems odd that they haven't been already formulated and disseminated. It might seem that their obviousness has made them irrelevant to men. Once evident, these laws have important applications, theoretical and practical alike. The first one is conceptual. These laws are not only theories, they represent our primary obligations as living beings, and give our life meaning. They confirm and frame the Aristotelian ethics of goodness and virtue, the Kantian categorical imperative, the ethics of moral sense and utilitarianism, and bioethics. They also acknowledge the commandment, "Be fruitful, and multiply, and fill the earth," and the ones on caring for the creation, and loving thy neighbor. They also resolve the doubts on progress and the object of evolution. And they clarify the fact that altruism is always self-serving, and that self-esteem and self-care are good as long as they are necessary to fulfill the vital imperative. These natural, biological, and moral laws are required for the governability of the world as they rise to the level of the whole humanity, all the positive partial objectives of the different human groups, vertical ones, families, regions, nations, as well as horizontal ones, political parties, religions, humanisms. To this effect, it might be convenient to create a global ethics authority, which would voice and promote the best policies and actuations in trying to survive in the best possible way. By way of example, it might seem convenient to permanently evaluate the risks that threaten our species, natural and human-made, and the means and values to confront them. And from there, revise and adapt laws and traditions, social and economic policies, the number and quality of life of the population, the treatment of marginalized groups, genetic engineering, as well as environmental and social engineering, universal virtues and crimes, and so on. All of this should be initiated as soon as possible, under the guidance of wise men and scholars and the assumption of responsibilities by world leaders. It's an evolution of ethics, morals and the government of humanity. It can be done stress-free and with no abrupt changes. Wielding enough power, and counting on the current means, the basic change process may last between 20 and 50 years, with even more immediate results on partial ones. Individually, the change can be made instantaneous. Once the universal ethical principle has been seen and assumed, whomever has a happy and meaningful life doesn't need to change a thing. The ones who need it, can revise and change whatever is needed and act accordingly. Whatever anybody is already doing, to try and comply with the universal ethical principle, improves the whole of humanity, current and future, as well as one's self.